Okay, so we came to the park. We're gonna do some outside shots. Right now it's about 5 in the afternoon. The sun's probably like 45 minutes away from setting, but it is kind of behind the clouds. So we've got pretty flat light. The sky's basically just like a giant softbox, but it's a little bit behind us, so we are gonna get just like a little bit of light in her hair. So I'm gonna get a shot of Lylah swinging, and my idea of what we're gonna do is me in front of her with her kind of swinging towards me. It's kind of fun. She's got like holes in her pants and her shoes are on the wrong feet, so it will give it some character. So that's how she always is. So let's get started. Oh, and the sun's coming out a little bit, so that's even better. Okay, Lylah, can you make yourself go higher?
Yeah.
Can you? Show me. My ISO is at about 320 right now, and my shutter speed is at about 640. So that I'm not getting too much blur from the swing. Perfect. Awesome. Okay. So just to like make sure we get a good shot, Lylah, let's stop you for a second. Can you swing on your belly?
Yeah.
Okay. Do it the other way. Turn on the other side. So you're facing me. There you go. Okay, can you swing? Do you want me to push you? Woohoo! Woohoo! What? Why are you hanging like a limp animal? You're crazy. Wait, I want to see your face. Why are your arms being weird? Is it hurting you?
Yeah.
Try it one more time. Can you try it one more time?
I need help.
You need help getting up? Okay. So I'm trying to focus right when she gets to like the highest point where I can see her face. So I'm not shooting the rest of the time she's swinging. Okay, you can get off. You can go play. Hey guys, we are gonna edit these pictures that I took of Lylah on the swing. So very first thing, I'm going to go in here and I'm going to rotate this just a little so that the school behind her is straight. I'm less worried about this because there is a little bit of distortion anyway, these bars. But I think if this is the way it was originally, it's really distracting to me to look like the school is like sliding down a hill. So I'm going to go ahead and rotate that to make the school straight. And then, perfect. Okay, then we're gonna go to our white balance. We've been talking about this a couple of days ago about not being able to find anything white to use the white balance dropper on. I don't really have anything white in this picture. I mean, the clouds kind of are, but when they're too bright, it will say that it can't set the white balance off that. You can pick another like neutral color like that, like I just did with this tan, and that'll kind of adjust things. Just play around with it till you find something that you like, or you can always use these and just drag it up or down to whatever you want. So I'm probably going to go about here, and I do sometimes find that it's easier to find your white balance if you've already done your exposure. So we're going to go to exposure. I'm going to bump that up, not really that much. Let's see, maybe somewhere like right there. And remember, I'm looking for the exposure on her face. I want that to be the best. I'm going to bring up my contrast here. Maybe to about there. And then I'm going to bring back in some shadows. That's just going to add shadows like around the school, give it a little bit of more dimension. And some blacks. Bring up my clarity, probably not that much. And then I'm going to bring up the saturation in this because they're playing at the park. There's lots of color, and I think it can use more saturation. Okay. I am going to bump up my tone curve just a little to make kind of an S shape. It's just going to add more contrast and stuff. It's very subtle, but it is a little bit. Alright, I'm going to bring down some of these yellows, and I'm going to bring down some of the reds, because there's a lot of red in her face here. And maybe even just a little orange. I'm going to put in a little bit of green and some blue, just to bring some more neutral colors back into this, particularly her face. Perfect. That looks good. Okay, and then I'm going to sharpen. Again, every time I'm editing, I'm doing basically the exact same things. I am even going to do a little bit of a noise reduction out here just because I like what it does to the overall image. Okay, so this one is kind of fun. I'm feeling like I maybe want to crop this a teeny bit more. I'm just going to bring the bottom up a little bit. I think maybe yeah. I like that a little bit longer like that. I think that makes it just a little bit more interesting. Okay, now we're going to do the radial filter. So I'm going to start on Lylah here. Make it the right shape. And I'm just going to make sure that we've got plenty of sharpness on her, plenty of blacks and exposure. Oops, sorry. Let's see. Yeah, that's probably about all I need. I might increase that a little bit. Maybe a little saturation. Cool. So I'm just trying to make sure that she stands out here. And sometimes that's just a matter of playing around with things a little bit. That looks good. Okay, now I'm going to make another one. I want to bring out the color in the bottom of her boots because I think they're fun, and the more colorful this picture is, the more feeling it's going to have of like just a really like fun, playing at the park kind of a feel. So I'm just going to do a curve there, and I just increase my saturation, and that's pretty much it. All right. Now I'm going to work on this sky. I want this sky to really stand out as being really blue and really pretty and bright. I want it to be almost look fake how bright it is. You can see there is a little bit of blue in there, but I'm going to bring down my exposure here, and then I'm going to bring up my clarity some, and I'm really going to pump up the saturation. Perfect. And then I'm going to do another radial filter on this other side. I'm going to do basically the same thing. And there's not really a lot of color in there. That's okay. Let's see. Oop. Sorry. I'm editing with a pen. It's getting carried away. Okay, so I'm liking those contrasts. I don't even mind that this is darker because I feel like it kind of looks like it's in the shadow anyway, which is why it reacted to the radial filter that way. Now I'm going to come down here, and we're going to add just a little bit more. So this is just kind of a good way to play around with editing and editing different portions of the photo without affecting the overall image. at the same time. So, but I just want more color in here. This is really what I'm going for in this image. It's just a lot of color. And so, perfect. Okay, so I had like 5 radial filters on there. One on her face, one on her boots, one on the sky here, one on the sky here that didn't do too much, and then one on the ground. Let's look at the before and after. Awesome. And I feel like this is just a stronger image. This is just, there's a lot more interest to it, and it's a lot more exciting. I will say, after all is said and done, I might increase my exposure just a little bit more, because you might have noticed I have a problem with wanting a lot of brightness. And I may bring this down just a little, the highlights, so I'm not getting the sky or her face too blown out. But other than that, I think that I'm done with that shot. So I'm going to go ahead and copy my settings. Also, I just noticed yesterday, you totally can copy your crop right here. I'm not seeing, oh, and you can copy your radial filter here. So if you want to do that, you totally can with this the copy settings. Somebody asked that question a few days ago, and I didn't think you could, but turns out you can. So I'm going to go ahead and copy that, and then that's going to allow me to paste my settings. I'm just going to preview over here. I can see my previews. I'm not sure if I'm liking any of the rest of these too much. That one's kind of silly of her. So this is another thing I'll do. This is not necessarily what I'm going to save, but or I'm going to post or anything like that, or spend a lot of time on, but it's kind of a fun one. So I'd like to have it just for myself. So I'm just going to do just a really quick edit. Okay, and then she switched over so that she was swinging on the swings on her tummy. She was being a little crazy at first with her arms hanging, silly, but I kind of like this one. Let's see. And I kind of like this one, but the problem is my focus fell right here on the chain. You can see the chain's in focus. Her face isn't. I don't like to save the pictures if they're not in focus unless there's something just incredibly special about them. So I'm going to go ahead and skip that one. But her face is in focus on this one. Her eyes, you can see the detail in her eyelashes and stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and paste my settings there, because this is all the same day and the same settings. Or the same, like, lighting and everything. Okay. Let's see. I'm going to bring up my exposure a little bit. I'm going to crop it a little bit. Sorry, this is going slow. And I don't necessarily need the skull to be straight in this one, because I am kind of at a funky angle, but I do want to crop it a little bit. And then I'm going to do the filter on her face right here, and then sharpen it a little bit, and add some blacks back in. Okay, and then I'm going to do one over here again on my sky, so that I'm getting a nice bright blue sky. And I don't want that to affect her face at all, so I'm going to make sure it's not touching her face. Oh, sorry, not that one. This one. Perfect. Okay, that looks pretty good. I'll go before and after. Awesome. I might bring my reds down a little bit in this, though, because she is pretty red. Okay. That looks good. Okay. I also really liked, that one's cute, but again, her face is not in focus. I shoot enough that I'm just not going to save it. If it's not in focus, we're not going to save it. She looks a little too doofy. She is kind of a crazy woman, this girl. Let's see. Yeah, I think we're gonna go with this one. Okay, we'll paste the settings here. I'm gonna rotate her a little bit. Not too much. And then I'm gonna put in the settings here. And then, let's see. Alright, brighten up her face. It was quite a bit darker because she was like hanging down away from the sun at this point. So, brightening up her face, adding a little bit more contrast with this radial filter, adding some blacks, adding not too much shadow there. One way you can take out some shadow is by pulling the shadow filter up, which can add some more clarity to it if you're looking to do that. And then increasing my sharpness. And then once again, just because I like the way that this is working for these images with the bright blue, just because we're at the park playing and I think it's fun, I am going to do that one more time where I'm just brightening up that sky to give it overall just like a really fun feel. Maybe I might pull up the shadows a little so I'm not getting it too dark on this bar. And then you can click back on the circle to look at this, the ones you've already done a second time. I'm going to take even a little bit more of this color out, or the shadow out, and then she's still just looking like a little bit red to me. All of these, but I don't want to take away too much, so I might try to add some green in. That may be too much. Maybe something like around there. Perfect. And then the overall image, I might add just a little bit of green. I think I've got too much. Gotta be careful when you're adding green in. Okay. I like that. I think that looks good. I'm going to copy and paste the settings again and then click a before and after. It's just a whole different feel in this image to the original. The original is fun. This one's just a totally different feeling. And I really like the way it looks. So you can adjust these before and afters if you have a way you prefer to view it. Okay, I think that's about it. I'll go ahead and export these, and I think that will be good. So hope that was helpful.